Hi, welcome to Adventure West 2026. I'm actually day 2 already into the trip. I'm in Kansas right now. First kind of stop, I guess. A little more relaxed today. I have got a good bit of time to go, not all that many miles, so figure I'd find some attractions out here. What little I could find in Kansas, you know how it is. But it's pretty cool. Mushroom Rock State Park. Has some pretty cool rock formations. So if you've seen my previous videos, you know how this goes. I'll meet up with my buddy Steven we'll meet up in Utah. And this trip will be a little bit different. I think there'll be a little bit less kind of off-roading. The usual overlanding stuff, and we'll be out in the trails and all that, of course. But we've got a lot of slot canyons we're trying to hit this year. Maybe a little bit more hiking than usual, but we don't have much of it planned. We got a whole bunch of points of interest, but not really a game plan yet, so we'll see what we come up with. But I'm sure it'll be an adventure. Well, I found another unexpected attraction in Kansas, of all places. Doesn't look like Kansas, does it? It's called Monument Rock. And yes, it's the only rock out here. The rest is just as you'd expect. Flat plains and cows. Like I said, I got some time to kill today, so figured I'd see what this is all about. I guess this is pretty exciting for Kansas. But don't worry, we'll be seeing better stuff than this later on in the trip. I'm at my camp spot for the night. This is travel day 2 for me. I'll be meeting Steven tomorrow morning. My campsite is UFO Watchtower. Yeah, interesting place. Should be fun to hang out here all night though and do some night photography. The clouds have dissipated, but it is pretty hazy, so I'm hoping that clears up. Some star photography next to my new friend here ought to be pretty cool. I'm definitely getting probed tonight though. Alright, well, I made it through the night at the UFO Watchtower without getting probed. At least that I can remember. I did have some strange dreams. Probably best not to think about that. Anyway, I got about a 3.5 hour drive this morning to meet up with Steven, and then the real adventure's gonna start. Yeah, best not to think about it. Alright, we're on our official first bit of trail for the trip. We're just outside of Moab. We had some time to kill a little bit there in Moab, and then we headed out there and met with John in the vehicle in front of me in the Tacoma. He was on our trip last year. You might have remembered he was in an older white 4Runner. So he's got his new fancy new rig this time. And we're going out to, should be a killer camp spot if no one's out here. It's one I found through another YouTube channel that is just basically right on the edge of a cliff face, has a killer view. Well, we've made it to our campsite for the night. Spot I've been wanting to get to for a couple years now. I saw it on another YouTube channel, Talon Sai. Had a video of him camped out on this cliff edge little peak, and Stephen was able to do some detective work and find out where it was. It's got a decent view. And we're walking out to the very tip of the cliff here where we camped last night. You would have seen this in the drone shots, but go get a look at these spires out here with our own eyes. You can drive all the way out here, but it gets a lot bigger and chunkier, and there's a better camping spot back there, so we just stayed back there.
go to Moab for supplies, but
problem is I don't think any of us could afford to live in Castle Valley.
oh, I couldn't. I couldn't afford to move. I mean, that's just.
Alright, this is really the only I'd consider obstacle coming out of this trail. Just a little chunky, a couple little ledges, but I don't think John will have any trouble with it. No problem. Well, I mean, a little bit. Alright, this is another camp spot not too far from where we were last night. If you look at that right there, that's the spires and stuff that we can see from the other camp spot. Yep, another pretty good view. We are currently exploring around, I think it's called Green River Complex. It's an old missile silo site. So back in from I think 64 to 74, around that time range, they launched over 200 missiles from here. There's not a whole lot left. There's supposed to be a couple structures that we're trying to find now. I think you might be able to see the base of a silo and a couple concrete kind of bunker looking things. But definitely interesting. You can see why they did testing out here. It's in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing out here.
Can't remember if I just saw pictures of somebody here and there was structures and everything to look at, or if it was like a YouTube video or something. I don't know. Strange. Nothing there anymore.
is just a little quick little trail. It says it goes out to ice box. It sounds really good. It's been a hot day. I wouldn't mind standing around in an ice box.
Yeah, my knees are going. Yeah.
This is already cooler.
You're 30 years old, John. You can do this. Ah. Hey, it worked.
I wish I was 30 years old.
Huh? It worked.
Alright, we were poking around the side roads here. There was a mine up the little ways that we were going to stay at, but there was already some people camped there. Steven talked to them and he said they're leaving fairly early in the morning, so we might leave here and then pop up there and take a look at it if we have time. So we're just going down another side road here and seeing if we can at least get back off the main stretch.
Just to cut the dust down.
Yeah, the dust today's been pretty horrendous. But that's typical out here. That's what's so fun about out here. There's so many of these little side roads and places to go. And
Alright, taking a sharp left up to get into this area here. Oh, I see a mine up ahead and structure.
yeah, like Steven just said, found another little offshoot and found a mine structure up in here. You couldn't see half this stuff in 5 lifetimes, even if you explored it every weekend. The great thing about the huge section we're in, it's all BLM, so it's all free to pick a spot and camp. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of got to the base of the rock here. Little mine structure up there to the right. Even has some trees and stuff. Might have some shade in the morning. It's funny, I'm used to getting out of bed in the morning and freezing, but last night it was pretty warm. I was already sweating as soon as I got up. I know. I'll complain when it's too hot. I'll complain when it's too cold.